get some peeps Saturday night. um, I'm guessing we're gonna try and do the. I got the socks here, but I'm hesitant to burn them. I don't know if it's the time. Maybe we'll just do a nice poke around bug live stream. We'll see who pops up. Zero Cool Ninja says, "What up, man? Hello, welcome, welcome whoever's here." Yeah, maybe I want to burn them when Behijger's here. Behijger is the one who made the big donation to burn my socks that I wore at the expo last weekend. So I feel like kind of has to be here. But we can just do a fun little bug stream because it's a great time of year for bugs. We got some sort of Araneus here. See if people can actually see that. Maybe we got where's the Pisarina? This Pisarina's been here with her babies for I don't know, maybe definitely at least a week, probably more than that. So we're gonna see if when they're gonna go off and do their own thing. So we're just gonna go around and maybe, just maybe, we'll get lucky and see some sort of katydid. Because this is the time of year to do it. What we got going on here? We got some sort of plant or leaf hopper on the elm. The little blue guy there. Curious what else we got going on. We got the orthops are going crazy. Also, again, thanks anybody who's tuning in. We're just gonna do this. I haven't actually been out to look for bugs yet, and our summer assemblage should be out in full force. I feel like the summer just kind of whisked by, and now here we are. But we got European earwigs sitting up here. Big old male. Must be a bust year for them. I think we had a really cold winter, and I think that was a pretty big factor in a lot of stuff. Now we got my bird run, the old bird run over here, and I put some pots in it. And I'm curious to see what's underneath the pots because it's really rich soil. There's all kinds of, again, there's no birds, there's no chickens and stuff scratching around constantly. So this is just going to explode whenever stuff gets planted in here because it's 7 years of just chicken and duck manure building up. So we're going to see. We got average Saturday night, says Charlie Bug for average Saturday night bug night behavior. I was gonna burn the socks, but I kind of want the Hijiger to be in the chat when that happens because he was the person who paid for the expo sock burning. So right now we're just going on a little summer bug hunt. We're just seeing what's around. We're gonna see what's under here, flip it and see what's going on. We got earthworm. We got some Unimobius crickets. We've got some. It was a Lithobius centipede, Oxidus, some Pseudocinella or Cecobria, not Cecobria. What is that other genus? The other white ant, springtail genus. Anyways, so nothing too crazy. I flipped this some time ago and found some carabids. Oh, maybe there's more going on than I thought. There's a fall field cricket already. Should we ping the Hijiger? Yeah, actually, that wouldn't be such a bad idea. Crazy year for orthops, I think. Again, we got this Gryllus pensylvanicus, Unimobius carolinus. Everything's going crazy in the trees. I'm hoping we'll come across a microcentrum somewhere. That'd be neat. A lot of crickets under here. A lot of Gryllus pensylvanicus just underneath here. Again, the soil's so rich and moist, and it's gonna be whatever grows here is just gonna go nuts. Something I haven't seen is cave crickets since basically spring. They kind of disappeared. I wonder if the big ones have all gotten eaten or laid their eggs and died, and the next bloom of babies is gonna start popping up in the fall. They kind of seem to do that. Good places to check for katydids is just on this kind of 6 foot plus vegetation. I think last year we got lucky and we found one. And last year we were finding a lot of zealous, or we went out looking for zealous around this time, and then we found a good number. But it was a good year last year for zealous, but this year does not seem to be quite so good. Maybe the cold winter had a factor in that. We got another Araneus here with some stuff in its web. Near the fire pit wherein the sock shall be burned. This black cherry got torched the last time that I had a fire, and is that a hanging fly? It's kind of different. What was that? Raccoons have been coming through the yard now that the dogs are in Holly, and messing with a bunch of stuff, and it's annoying. I just hope they'll wander on eventually. Ooh, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now this is weird. I don't know what type of dragonfly this is, but this is just... Parker Vald says, you have the worst content. That's very positive of you, Parker Vald. Anybody know anything about orthopterans here? Anybody? Or not orthopterans? Odonata? Anybody have any idea what this is? It just completely took me by surprise, and geez, you would never realize, but I don't know if this is getting the detail, but this thing's got... I never realized the head was so hollow. It's just basically big eyeballs. It's crazy. Somebody said I like Odonata, but the stream's 240p for me. That's unfortunate. I am a bit away from the house, but 5G Ultra Wi-Fi, pretty, that's what it is. Thank you, Laura, and also good to see you. Good to see everybody popping in for a minute here. Yeah, I'm unsure if that's my side or client side for the stream's quality, but I just came out here. We're just doing a little poking around, catch up with people, see what bugs are hanging out, maybe make some observations of stuff. That dragonfly was pretty cool. This Aurelia is huge. It was so small when I planted it before. Let's check by the compost. Seems like an area where we might find some good stuff. Over here, carpenter ants are out and about. Who knows what they're up to exactly at this time of year? Probably just... Oh, I just ate a mosquito or a midge. Oh. Somebody said this is... Oh, somebody's being mellow yellow. They've got some deviants in the chat, it seems. We'll just let them sort themselves out. They say any publicity is good publicity, and I'm inclined to go along with that tonight. Let's see what's going on under this shelter board. And not to my surprise, another Grylus. Some Unimobius, some Aminthos, giant Asian forest worms. Platydracus, was it Cinnamatonoff? So, gotta be honest, kind of, there's a lot of crickets and stuff, but the sheer numbers are pretty high, but unique stuff is kind of at a low. We might need to get more into September proper for that kind of thing. What we got going on under here? Got some small, got some Haplophthalmus isopods, some random staphylinids going on. Still more crickets, just does not end. That looks like a featherwing beetle there. You guys probably cannot see it with the stream quality, but maybe you see a little black dot moving around. That might actually be a featherwing beetle, so that's kind of cool. Charlie Bug suggesting an ID for the Odonata, that being Pantala hymenea. That's good that you guys can at least see a dot. That's very good. We'll go poke around the side of the old chicken coop. And who's this here? Ah, it's a Dolomedes, probably Tenebrossus, probably a little fellow. just going around. We had a good encounter with one of those a couple of months ago when we did a stream, and it was much bigger than that one. Nothing seems to be on here. Some sort of small, weird tenebrianid. See if anything's... Oh, I closed that off. I forgot about that. We'll go check the sacred cave cricket tub and see what's going on. See what's hanging out over there. Again, all kind of fall and then spring, when I would flip it, I would find some cave crickets, and then it seems to have dried up and I'm not seeing any adults out and about, so it's possible we're between things right now. Between the spring and fall assemblages, but let's see what's going on. Right in here. Alright, don't see any cave crickets. Nada. Not really much of anything. Yeah, we may end up waiting until fall to see some, it seems, maybe. But we do have this. Look at that. Cicada shed. So they've been going pretty crazy. So, anything else going on out here? Ooh! We have probably a snowy tree cricket over here. Probably was a Acanthus fultonii. And probably another one on the Rubus odoratus elsewhere too. Somebody just texted me about finding something in their collection. Let's see what's going on. This is kind of where we saw that katydid last year, and I'm hoping maybe on the underside of a leaf or like on these lower hanging dip down branches might be where we would get in luck and find a nice Microcetrum retinervi. Oh, here's another hanging fly, I think, over here. And some sort of, looks like a brown lacewing over here too, perhaps, or a caddisfly. Can't really tell too well. Nothing on the underside of all this black cherry here. So, well, there's our lovely little Acanthus fultonii, and the chorus of them off that way. Man, it's kind of crazy how grown in everything got when the dogs were moved to Holly and aren't trampling everything down constantly. Here's my Hugo mound. I've been getting a pretty good harvest of Swiss chard off of it. Tomatoes aren't doing so hot. Mustard looks like it's doing pretty okay for zero inputs. It's doing pretty well. Dahlia's looking pretty well. I'll have to grab the tubers of that before frost, but chard definitely a winner on the Hugo mound. We will just keep making our way in this direction, and this is looking good. We've gotten a good amount of rain. I've been here enough to let a bunch of soil basically accumulate, and is that? That's a large fly. Some sort of very large fly. Doesn't look like a robber fly. Doesn't look like a horse or a deer fly either. Little geometric caterpillar on this Helianthus, so I can't even focus on it because it's the same color as the petals. But yeah, this is really filled in to be quite something. Again, without the dogs, it's pretty crazy the amount of growth. Oh, I almost went face first into that web. I think we're gonna actually go around and see what other path we may take. nothing much on the puckweed. The ground is kind of, other than crickets, it's kind of lacking. Like usually I would expect to see some carabids and whatnot, but I think that carabids are probably going to be more of a like fall proper thing. A lot of them are probably pupating larvae right now. A lot of solanum over there. It feels weird going around the yard and not having the birds and stuff present. It's kind of eerie. It's unsettling. Everything was so lived in here for so long, and now it's a blue bottle fly or some sort of blowfly maybe. Any katydids going on over here? You should go check that other box elder, the one by the chicken thing. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Oh, I'm feeling something. Some poke milkweed. Maybe getting eaten up by monarch caterpillars, or not, never mind. We have the culprit. It's a swamp milkweed leaf beetle. And it's not on swamp milkweed, it's on poke milkweed. I've seen a lot of these this year just going for basically any milkweeds. Alan says look for Parkablata olleriana. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're not in my yard. I wish. Maybe they should have been introduced by somebody at some point, but they're otherwise they're not back here. This white lamb's quarter is the leaves are just getting mined out real bad. Asters are crazy. This is the most lush my whole yard has looked in ever, basically, other than maybe that middle section there, but other than that, it's crazy how fast things grow in the northern hemisphere during summer. All right, we're looking for a katydid. Do we have a katydid? No, this thing grew fast too. This tree's like 3 or 4 years old, and it feels like it puts on 5+ feet of growth every year. It's pretty crazy. But another acanthus. Don't worry, we just want to talk up. Okay, the acanthus dropped off, but we get this valuable piece of information about what zealous feed on, and it looks like a midge. I don't know if you guys could see the zealous on the top of here, but keeps going up in between the bottom and the top of the leaf. And there it goes. So it's feeding on some sort of midge. So hey, we can confirm that they feed on flies in the wild, which is probably why at least Longipe seems to do well on flies in captivity. But no microcentrum, no, not Stolpiclora. Scuderia. Actually, I was pretty mad yesterday. I saw Scuderia on my front window at night, and I just admired it and thought, oh, isn't it lovely? And then I came back a little while later, and there was a male Chinese mantid eating it. So I disposed of the mantid and fed it to my skinks, and unfortunately the Scuderia's head was eaten off, so it was not salvageable, but at least I got rid of the Chinese mantid. Camilo Adarve said, hi, hello, welcome to the stream. We're just on a nice casual bug hunt here, and hoping we'll come across a katydid. I'm hearing something going, might be a microcentrum, but whether or not we'll actually be in a good place to see it's a different story. But this is wild cucumber, Echinocystis lobata, and Poly Flowers seems like a pretty good place to find a katydid walking around getting some extra protein munchies at this hour. So we'll follow the vine, but really cool native vine. Who's that there? Some sort of weevil? Very small weevil. Beautiful flowers. I'm gonna smell it for y'all because they're supposed to smell good but might not be making scent at this hour. No scent. So must be a day pollinator thing mostly. Charlie Bug said tragic. Yes, I know. What's going on over here? Some wilted vines, maybe from a vine borer, perhaps. But and the prickly ash here. See if we have anything hanging on the prickly ash. Kind of an odd choice for a Katie did, but could be on here. Don't see anything. Hoping maybe we'd see an orange dog, a giant swallowtail caterpillar. Don't know what that is. Is that a beetle or something on there? Or is it a malformed fruit? Or what's the deal? Yeah, it's like a weird malformed fruit it looked like. Yeah, I can really smell the fumes from this guy right now, actually. It's pretty strong. Is that? No. Again, wishing I could find an orange dog. Haven't seen one in a while. I do see giant swallowtails with some frequency, so that's good. They're here, but hopefully using the habitat, give them a nice home. It's been a pretty good year for leps, although our swallowtail season seemed to be pretty curt. I recall in years past where giants and black swallowtails would be a bit more abundant going through the summer, and it feels like we had a really good peak through July, and then a lot of stuff kind of dropped off this year. Still seeing monarchs though. There were 3 in my front yard the other day, all duking it out. And what is this? Hey, now I planted something weird over here that I can't remember what it was, and I thought it died. It's native. Does anybody recognize this grass? Because I'm pretty sure it's native. And I planted here a while ago, and the dog's trampling just kept it down. And now it's up to this size. I remember planting miscanthus? No, it was something native, and I planted it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And it just never did anything, and now look at it. It's crazy. Didn't even know that was there. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, geez, funny how time makes fools of all of us. I started the summer, and after the goats were in the yard a bit and the dogs, got to run through the yard until they were moved to Holly, I would often think like, oh, the yard's never gonna be lush. It's not gonna be lush again. It's gonna be so barren looking, and it really could not be any further from the truth. Just one good growing season with some good rain, and everything just pops off. Lots of moths. I gotta say, it's nice to get into and dissect everything that I'm looking at, like, oh, this is this species, oh, this is that species, but what are the real pleasures? What's that? It's a weird fly. Looks like one of those, like a stem borer, I think, where they lay their eggs in the stems of plants. Maybe even gall forming. Hey, Cameron, good to see ya. Hey, yo, my boy, come to Jackson tomorrow. And now here we are again. Anyways, I was waxing on, identifying stuff, and there's a rush of that in the spring, getting out, collecting soil inverts and various things. But then come October, November, I just really like kind of casually watching the bugs. I like just seeing the multitudes of bumblebees go to the flowers, like the asters, the elephant mosquitoes go to the flowers, all the weird little moths that start flying around on cold nights in November. There's really something cool about that. And then you get the capstone. You get the capstone to all that with the winter moths, the native one. And I do find those back here on the oaks. So it's just something really nice. So this is where the goats were last year. You wouldn't know now with how it is. And I need to pull these guys because you are not native and becoming a bit of an issue in some spots. So I'm just gonna do the quick and easy here and extricate you, and you'll be guinea pig food next time I feed them. So I've been doing is coming through here and pretty religiously cutting the pokeweed because it really came up with vigor this year, and boy, it has not let up. It has not stopped growing. In fact, I've cut it back 2 or 3 times now, and I need to come in here and do it again for sure. Uh, but something else that only just with the goats being in here, that has only just now started to spread, was this deer's tongue grass. This was one little patch over here for the longest time, and only now has it started to pop up and spread throughout here. Again, this was mostly goldenrod and a handful of other things for a long time. The goats really cleared it out to the ground and kept it that way. And that disturbance, you think it was awful at first, but it's really given so many things a chance to come into their own and pop up in here. Next year it'll be a jungle for sure. But we got an ironweed, wing stem. There's a bunch of black-eyed Susans, brown-eyed Susans. I was a fool and put some purple prairie clover in here. It's definitely not competing well against the other stuff. There's too much soil moisture, I think. Bunch of black-eyed Susans, though, just nuts. Some tall coreopsis. Brown-eyed Susans will go nuts. Next year we'll seed into here and do some stuff. The Senna herbicarpa was gone last year, and it popped up and it spread around a little bit this year. It just, man, did that thing clock in and clock out with the flowering. I swear that was flowering yesterday, and it's already covered in seed pods. Bunch of jump seed. This is all over the yard. I think the Michigan jump seed needs to be split into 2 species. There's 2 pretty distinct phenotypes I come across. And then this area over here is where I had heaped up a lot of manure and straw and whatnot. And as you can see, it's pretty barren. And I think that's because it's still hot. It's still breaking down microbially, or at least was for a good part of this year. So next year, if the sunflower here survives and this one starts to creep around, this is going to be eaten up by things too. But here's more of that sunflower. I really wish that I had cut this back earlier in the year. I really wish that I had cut this to about half the height earlier in the year and worked from there. And man, it's just crazy. A lot of this stuff just seemed so small not too long ago, and now it's everywhere. This nice partially red-throated impatiens capensis. It's nice. I gotta grab my seeds of that stock to take to foreign lands. And yeah, definitely gotta cut this back next year. Jeez, look at how tall this is. So these lamb's quarters I'll cut and use for guinea pig and rabbit food. And I can't remember what this was. Maybe it was false bone set. No, it wasn't Berkelia. It's something from the shores of Lake Erie, and it's seeded in off the patio, and I leave it because it's going to go nuts pretty soon for pollinators. New England aster is already starting to make flowers, starting to bud. It's a nice green bottle fly there, in case you guys have never seen one of those. Just really, just a wonderful thing that things can just grow and get green and all this stuff now. Here's, and take over. We're gonna poke around here because sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes there'll be a katydid that crawled or flew out of the mass of tangled stuff and ended up over here on the more cultivated areas, especially something like this hibiscus. The leaves are pretty palatable. Who's chewing away there? Oh, if it isn't a handsome trig, maybe contributing to the foliar damage there. I don't know if you guys can see the handsome trig. Not looking all that handsome in this light, but I assure you it's very handsome. Usually see those on buckthorn. Not much of that going on back here. Well, this is that Maximilian Santa Fe hybrid sunflower that I love so much and will bloom its heart out in September, October. Yeah, the hibiscus are closed up. I don't see anything really crawling up on the leaves. Again, it seems like it would be a great spot for a katydid. These zinnias, I don't know what's going on with them, but they seem to be losing their wool. Oh, it was a can of flower. Losing a bit of their vigor already. Maybe they're getting shaded out. These ones look a little bit better, but maybe they're just getting a bit haggard. It is August after all. Time continues to fly by. So let's see, this button bush also didn't flower, but it's gotten over its chlorosis. Maybe I peed on it a lot, that might have helped, or maybe it just took time. We got a cucumber leaf beetle crawling up the hibiscus flower there, I think. Probably from the adjacent cucumber vine. And again, feels like this would be just the perfect place to stumble across a katydid swiping some pollen, or just in a place that it's not usually, up on the tip of a flower. Who knows? But these Canna indicas, they're really flowering their heart out. Like, look at this guy. He's like, I don't care if it's August. I got at least 2 more flower spikes to go. And I love that commitment. This, I think, is a peach tree that came up from a pit. So I love that we're all about that here. Who's this? Oh, another. Looked like a spider, but it's just a flower that fell. Yeah, so much involved with the cannas here. The little hybrid lobelias. Hopefully gonna make the winter there and be happy about it. Nothing much on the scarlet runner beans. Tender foliage, tasty flowers. There's an aranid up there doing something. Doesn't seem to have a web, so I don't know. And sometimes up on the side of the house is a good place for katydids, but not tonight. So a little surprising. Again, stuff must be really up in the trees, really giving it its all. Not a lot of diurnal bugs sleeping on the foliage. I guess everything kind of got to where it needed to be before bed. Maybe if we're lucky, super duper lucky, if we look up on this oak, maybe there'll be somebody hanging out on these lower branches. Wouldn't that just be nice? Doesn't seem to be a big mass crop year. Pretty reasonable crop. And who knows what this foliar stuff is on here? I don't know. Don't want to think about it. Could not imagine losing an oak to oak wilt or something like that, but it looks like a lot of the leaves have it this year. So there we go. I guess the Hijiger wasn't here, so we couldn't do the sock burning necessarily, but the Hijiger, you are in my thoughts for getting that done. Just know that. But thanks everybody for just coming and spending some time with me on this Saturday night. Maybe something I saw was useful for you for what you're doing with your captive stuff. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But I hope that everybody has a pleasant Saturday and get some good rest and have a nice Sunday, everybody. Take care. And also, it's been so long since I've said my tagline, but may your cultures ever be bountiful. Good night, everybody.